to another edition of Cancer Tamer. I'm Dr. Charlie Ferrer, your host, and with me I have some wonderful individuals that you'll learn about in a few seconds. Also, you know Deborah already, and Deborah is here going to be joining us for this special edition on Reiki.
Thank you, Charlie.
So how you been doing, Deborah?
Okay. Looking forward to this segment.
Yeah, me too.
It's a very exciting topic.
Yeah. So I want to introduce Carol, who is a Reiki practitioner.
Yes.
And can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I have got involved with Reiki because it's just something that the energy from my body and someone else's, you're feeling that. As much as I'm trying to help the person, the client, I'm also helping myself. You actually feel that energy flowing between the two people. And it does help so many people, and we're here trying to help as many as we can holistically.
Excellent. And
Very
Anthony?
nice. Hi.
Hi, Anthony.
Hi. I'm a Reiki practitioner, master teacher. I did teach Carol the art of master. We do a lot of clinical work in the sense of with cancer and other diseases. Reiki is a very healing commodity, and we're happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
you have a store here, or a practice here on Staten Island, correct?
Yes, we do.
Called Zen, that you provide workshops and different gatherings as well,
Right.
workshops. And so I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
Okay, so, and I know Deborah has some questions too.
Yep.
So we sat together and we decided that we wanted to ask you a little bit about what Reiki is, so that our viewers can understand what Reiki is all about. So can you tell me, I know you talked about energy, but what is it? I'm putting you on the spot.
It's very hard to explain. You know, that's the hardest thing about when people go, "What is Reiki?" And it's just very difficult to explain it. It's a very light touch. There's two ways of doing it. Some don't touch. We happen to do a very light touch on the body, and you actually can feel the energy starting to move. There's heat that comes from our hands that you're going to feel in your body, and you actually feel the hot and cold places as you're going along the body. So we start, usually at the top of the head, and we work our way down, and we try to hit. It's actually almost every joint part that's on your body, and then we also have chakras that we try to balance.
So you're working with the energy of the individual.
Both. It comes
And
off of our energy and their energy together.
Exchanging the energy and such.
Right.
And what is Shaki? You said
Chakras.
Chakras.
Yes, what
We
is
have
that?
7 main chakras in our body. There's a lot more, but there's 7 main ones. And we try to make them balanced and focused. It helps you to focus a little bit more. It helps with your anxieties. And each chakra has a different position, and it has a different meaning. So we have our crown chakra, which is, of course, your source, whatever your faith is, whatever you believe in.
Right.
We have your center, which is your third eye. That's more of your intuition. You have your throat chakra, which actually gives you your communication, kind of think before you speak. Of course, your heart chakra is your compassion, your empathy. Your solar plex is your stomach. That's more about you, your individuality, your person, who you are. Below the belly button is your sacral. That is more of your sexual organs and your creativity. Mm-hmm. And then you have your root chakra, which is, if you think of a tree, that's the strongest part. So if that stays strong, the rest of it, the branches build up quick.
And so then you try to clear the chakras as well in part of Reiki. And I know chakra will have to be a whole nother
Well, that
section of it.
chakra
But
would be
it's
a
also,
whole
and that's a whole nother show, so you'll have to come
that's
back
a lot
for it.
involved.
But you're also, in the Reiki, you're also working with the chakras and moving energy and transferring energy back and forth. And I know we kind of joked about, about the Green Mile, Stephen King's The Green Mile, of where, because you had said you're taking in the energy from the person and the bad energy or the negative energy or whatever needs to be let go.
Right.
And then taking it into yourself and then getting rid of that. And You know, because I always see like Reiki masters and such, they'll start going like this.
Well, that's it. You're
You know,
getting
and you're
rid
getting
of.
rid
right.
of
Right.
that
Or
energy.
they're feeling it. They might be during the session itself going like that because they're getting the sensation. They're feeling
so
it.
you're working
So
with
you-
empathic
Yeah.
abilities as well,
Right.
correct?
Well, there are Reiki practitioners and masters that do see the aura of the body.
Yeah.
You know, they'll see me. I don't see auras, but I do feel if there's a problem medically. I would tell this person, did you have or do you have a stomach ache? Because your stomach right now is active. And they'll tell me, no, I don't have a stomach ache, but that's funny because 2 days ago I did. That means the stomach is still active, and it's showing itself to be active.
Which you just opened the door to another great question, right?
Yes.
You know, how does this work with patients who have cancer? Because I mean, that's what our show is about.
I know.
So,
Yes, it does. It's Reiki with cancer. It calms the body. There's a lot of stress that the patient is under.
insanity.
with chemo, as you're having chemo, it calms you down. It helps the weakness of the body that you start to get weak.
And the pain.
It gives you the energy to build up.
Are you
Sorry.
allowed to have
Yes,
a
Reiki
session
is
chemo? You are.
Reiki is because it's not a massage.
Right.
It's just an energy touch. You can have Reiki. Massage you can't. You have to wait until you're through your chemo state. You know.
Oh, okay.
But with Reiki, it doesn't affect the chemo that's going through the cells.
A lot of hospitals now are even doing
That's
that.
right,
They're
they
letting
have
Reiki
in-
masters in
right.
before surgeries or while
After.
they're going through treatments.
Because of the fact that if you're meditating, your body is
Healing.
healing.
It's
and
healing
giving
itself.
you other
Right.
endorphins that you
Right.
also need.
And we do the
Right.
cancer patients, and a lot of them, they figure out where it's better for them, if it's better before their chemo or after. However, they feel more relieved, so they'll come in, I have a chemo treatment tonight, can you do the Reiki on me? And they
Right.
feel that they go through it a lot easier. They're not sitting, laying down in bed and feeling sick, and they said it gives them that strength to go a little bit further in their, in their healing process.
And so would the same thing be for like radiation as well?
Sure.
Or anything?
Anything. They use it in ERs to calm people down when they come in with trauma.
Oh.
So it's used widely in the hospital now. The hospital has noticed it.
Is it covered by insurance, though? 'Cause
No.
That's the hard.
That's a whole new
It's
show.
not.
That's
Yeah.
another show. Yeah, we got 3 shows on
Insurance.
insurance.
But yet,
But
if
no.
you work in a hospital, then is it covered? Like I know, like some cancer patients, if they're at a certain hospital where they were treated, they have free services. That it's free to the patient, but the hospital compensates.
They compensate because the most likely,
professional.
the Reiki practitioner that's coming in is volunteering.
Oh, I see.
They're volunteering their services, just like massage. Some massage therapists go to hospitals just to volunteer
Hate
their
to say
services.
it, but here in this area,
Yeah,
Right.
it's
in
not.
other states, I think they do.
yeah.
They see it more.
It's tough here.
They're just starting to learn.
It's tough here.
That's true.
It's a holistic versus.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah, because and that's the one piece when I was first diagnosed, everything was, radiation and chemo, and that's all I ever heard about. And because I'm more spiritual in my beliefs,
Right.
I'm going, wait a minute, what about everything else? And so that's part of also what I want to do with the show is to
Right.
be able to bring in everything else, to be able to bring in Reiki practitioners, to do acupuncture, to talk about massage, to talk about tones. We had Tibetan tones with Elaine Mackel that was here doing with Deborah. And Deborah had
Great.
she had such a great peaceful look on her, and I was
felt
so jealous. I'm like, next time they're doing it for me. So
I wanted to take her home.
Yeah. We almost didn't let her leave. So it is that piece of, especially for patients out there to understand that it's not just chemo and it's not just radiation. And by all means,
Right.
if your doctor says that's what you need and that's what you decide that you want to do, then that's your choice.
Right.
However, on top of that, you can also get all these other palliative, complementary, whatever you want to call them, holistic care that's also available for you, because It's about how you interact with your disease, how you interact with what's going on for you. And I think that it's your attitude and the energy that you have as well that's going to help you heal.
Absolutely.
Because if you have the, oh, I here's one more test, and oh my gosh, what's the test, and you're so freaked out over, well, one more test, then you start having this attitude of fear and disability and so on. It's like for me,
negativity.
and
Right.
negativity. And so
Right.
for me, every time I go to another test, I turn around and go, hey, there's another time for you to say I don't have it. Here's another chance for me to say, prove that there's nothing inside of me anymore. My tumor marker came back negative. My MRI hopefully comes back negative, but it will because it's already gone. And, so every test for me personally, I look at it as, okay, let me prove to you that I don't.
Right.
So
You're
why
rare.
am I going
Right.
to? So I'm those weird ones.
No, you're rare. But that's
with all
good.
the rare stuff
Right.
that I have going on.
That's true. But you know
Sure.
what?
But
It
but
works
it is
for
that.
Charlie,
Right.
and I think that's
And-
great.
And I think, I mean,
love it.
I've seen people that also have this wonderful attitude.
Right.
Where I just look at them and I go, I wish I were you. Because I mean, when I first met Deborah as well, she's just this wealth of information for me, and I just like and I hate the term "pick your brain,"
That's
but
okay.
but
I'll
I'm
let you.
always doing that, just going, hey, what about this or what about that, or we talk about support groups, and so and it was 2 weeks ago where we had a person in our support group mentioned that she had gotten a tumor marker test, and I was like, well, I need one of those too. So talking with my doctor, these are the ways that you learn. It's one of those things where we have to share this information because that's how you learn.
Right.
Right.
Whether
No
or
one
not
told us
it's-
half of the thing.
half
Right,
of the
and it's
things
not
we
only
have
that you
done.
learn, you let the word out. That's important.
Exactly.
Because when you have something like Reiki, Reiki is something that, as Carol was explaining, it's something that's not felt. So if it's not felt, it's faith. So
You
A
said
doc-
felt,
it's not felt inside the
Okay.
body. Some people do. I have to be
so you
admit.
can't quantify it.
Right. There's nothing that's going to say it's tangible. It's nothing in a book that when you read it like a doctor reads a book says, okay, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and this is the guarantee. So therefore, doctors, if they're closed-minded, they're not going to be open to Reiki. And they're not going to see the effects, the positive effects that Reiki have on cancer patients. So they would tell the patient, you're wasting your time. Don't go for that. It doesn't work. But the more education like these shows that open up people to them, they'll tell their doctor, I'm going for it.
Right.
And this is why these shows are important, because
Thank
Reiki does help. And it's
Yeah,
a
and
given that
I-
it does help.
I haven't had Reiki myself, but I have talked to people that have done Reiki.
Right.
And just the peaceful expression
Yeah.
that they get, like Deborah's that day with the Tibetan sounds. It's like, I want some of that.
Yeah. It's
and
educating the
it's-
public.
It's
That's-
educating the
you
public,
have
and it's
to.
also looking at things in a different light.
Right.
You
Right.
know, like we were talking about how Cancer Tamer came about,
Right.
and it's the idea of we've been taught that cancer is this thing that we need to fight and
Mhm.
destroy and battle and constantly be at war with, and yet we forget that cancer's not out there. Cancer's in here.
Right.
It's in our blood, it's in our DNA, it's in our bones, it's in our breasts,
Right.
and so every time we try to destroy it, we're destroying
The
ourselves.
insides. Right.
And so, do we really want to do that? Do we really want to keep that thought going, or do we want to say, hey, some of the things are necessary, and how can we start repairing?
Right.
How can we start living our lives again in a more holistic or happier, healthier,
Right.
better way?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Mr. Grump is living his life angry at the world, and he's angry because you're happy. So let's get Mr. Grump happy, and he'll be a happy Grump.
But I think it's also taking control, making a decision on your own after
Right.
doing some research and taking control and doing what you feel would be best for you.
Right.
Now, with cancer patients, does it matter what kind of cancer they have when you're with them?
No, I've worked on people that had liver cancer, breast cancer. In fact, I had a woman, I worked with her for 8 months, and actually I'm doing it. And you could feel it if it's good or if it's not, you know, if she's doing well or not. And sometimes I was getting the taste of the metal in my mouth from it, you know.
Yeah.
And then one
It'll
day
do
I
that.
did her, and I was like, oh my God, you feel so good. The energy is so great. And she goes, I'm in remission. I didn't even tell you. And she said, thank you. And I'm like, don't thank me. It's not. She goes, no, you don't understand. I'm in with a group of women. We all meet together. We all do our chemo together. I'm in remission. They're not. And I'm the only thing different that I'm doing is the Reiki.
Wow.
So I was like, oh,
great.
okay. So I felt good about it. You know, because it's hard to, you know, really say, okay, it was because
Makes
of
the
me.
life
You know,
easier.
it was me. But, you know,
I like that. I like that.
Do the Vanna White thing.
Yeah, you know.
How many times a week would you suggest for someone who has cancer to see you?
we
How does that
probably
usually
once a week.
work? Once a week.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes we implement essential oils with that. And I know it's a cost to some of them, so a lot of times we try to work things out, and I'll tell them, if you purchase the oils, we'll do it for a regular cost. You know what I mean? We don't charge
Don't
them
charge
more
extra.
or anything like that, because I know things get expensive. So
Yeah, that's the one thing with
Yeah.
with having cancer or any other kind of illness, the fact that you don't have the money
Right.
because
We're not
you're
working.
constantly
Right.
running
Yeah.
and paying something or getting new meds that aren't
Right.
covered by your
Yeah.
insurance or aren't, you know, or even gauze pads.
Right.
Because I went through, I've gone through over 100 gauze pads in 1 month and
Wow.
less than a month because I
Right.
still have holes in my chest, and so I have to constantly keep them clean. And so, yes, I do stuff my bra.
First time in your life.
First time in my life, I'm stuffing my bra. So you know, so things like that they don't cover,
Right.
or you know, over the counter like zinc or B12, things like that I have to buy in order to stay healthy.
right.
That that isn't covered by my insurance, and so you know that adds up to like $100,
Sure.
$200 a month.
Right.
Plus, then you want to get some care elsewhere that
Right.
isn't being done.
Right.
So one of the things that we want to do with Cancer Tamer is also be able to raise funds so that we can be able to
Right.
to provide services
Right.
like that, services that aren't provided by other agencies.
Right.
You know, I mean, you have your American Cancer Society, and they're wonderful, and they have a lot of money for research, but that's what they spend their money on. Or
Right.
other organizations spend their money, and they'll help you with rent. And
Right.
yes, we need rent so
Right,
that we
yeah.
can,
Right.
you know, not be homeless. But there's other things as well
Right.
that cancer patients need and other patients need.
Right.
One of the questions that I wanted to ask too is, do you need anything special to do Reiki? I mean, do you have to like prep your room or have the windows or make sure this whatever noise is in the background?
Yes.
You know, all the background noises are gone
Yeah.
or something.
Well, we always have some nice quiet music playing. Anthony and I are both big on Native American, so it's a lot of that type of music, very calming. I try to sage the room out as much as possible because when you leave, your energy's still there.
Right.
So we try to clear it up so that the next person that comes in doesn't feel it, or we don't feel it, you know, because it builds up on us too. Constantly, you know, trying to take the negativity out of people, and so it does build up on
Yeah.
us once in a while. So
It's
we
very
just
powerful.
cleanse us out.
I was taught when I was learning Reiki that's how strong energy is. You have your energy, I have my energy. When you have a house that's full of energy, be it negative, you fight with your husband or wife, that you have your energy, you have his energy, that creates a different energy in a household. It's you two put together, you create this third energy. That's why certain times when you're in a house, you feel something. You feel negativity.
Yeah, and you
And
can do
the
that
two
when you
people
walk
could be
right in.
gone,
Right.
but it's that third energy that was created by the two of them still in the house. That's how powerful energy is.
So you go to
So-
people's house too, besides them coming to your
We do go to
facility?
their house. We do sage their homes.
Oh.
You know, we do offices too. If people feel that, you know, a lot of people move into a new home and they feel the presence of somebody else. There are people that were there before, so we
And
go
so you
in and
cleanse
we
the house.
cleanse the whole house. And,
Yeah.
you know,
And I would say for those individuals that don't believe in energy, it's the idea of even when you're in the crowd or at the supermarket and somebody stands a little bit too close to you and you're
Right.
just like,
You feel them.
I need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like step away.
Back away.
Yeah.
In my space.
Right.
You know, you're a little too close. And then the other people are just like, well, you want to get close to them and you want to pull them into
Right.
your hemisphere to be
Right.
able to get a little bit
It's
of
true.
that.
Right, to get that
And-
good
and
energy, right? Definitely.
That's the piece of it.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to see you do a little bit.
Yeah.
On
Sure.
Dr. Charlie.
We
That
do
would be
that.
great.
It's my turn.
It's your turn. Okay.
So we wanted to show you what Reiki was like, and so Carol has graciously agreed to do a little bit for me, and then she'll talk to Deborah while I enjoy all the sensations. And if you're hearing this weird noise in the background, we have some kind of weird noise going on, so we'll just ignore that. So I'll shut up.
Okay.
So it's on you, Deborah.
All right. Am I allowed to interrupt her while she's doing
Sure.
that? Oh.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Or you can
She's-
ask him.
All
She's
right,
into,
Let me ask you, Anthony.
yeah.
All right. So right now, what is she doing, Carol?
She's balancing the crown, and she'll work down because you always start from the head and you work down.
Oh. All right.
You try to focus as much as the practitioner tries to focus on the areas of where she's at. Reiki not only, it's important, when I teach Reiki, I teach not only the chakras,
Right.
but I teach what part of the body they're over. What's the organs that they're on top of. So you know where you're balancing. So if you feel something, you know that if you're over the stomach, you go feel that energy,
Right.
and you know then something is wrong in that area.
Then when you've done patients, have you felt where their cancer would be or was?
I do pick up, and Carol does pick up too.
Oh.
Yeah,
I see.
Carol picks up also.
Hmm.
As you
Wow.
see, Reiki is it's not a massage.
Right.
It's just a touch, a light touch, because you don't push hard because you have to feel that energy. If you push hard, you won't feel the energy flowing.
Oh, so you have to. It
It's
has
got to be
flow
very
between
light.
the skin
You're
and the
touching,
hand?
but it's a very light touch.
And I have
And
to
how
say,
do
I'm
you feel?
feeling her energy too.
You should
Oh,
feel it,
she's
like a
very-
vibration.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you
My-
feel any heat?
My fingers
No,
are tingling.
it feels
Yeah.
nice
actually.
and cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll transfer. Energy is very real. It's
Mhm.
very real.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah.
And usually, how long does a session take?
A session could take up to an hour,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
unless there's a problem.
Right.
It'll run
Now
over
that
a little
you
bit.
say
If there is no problem, it might come out to like 45 minutes.
Oh.
It's really up to what the practitioner feels.
Right.
But it's normally average an hour.
Mhm. And how long is the training to become a Reiki master?
The training is, you have 3 levels. You have Reiki 1, 2, and 3. It really depends on who teaches it. My teachings are 6 weeks at Reiki 1. Now, in order to get to Reiki 2, you have to wait 6 months
So what do you do?
in between.
Practice
That's 6
anything?
months, yeah.
Okay.
It's to use what you learned and to get strong in it. Then you would do Reiki 2
Right.
for 6 weeks, and then wait 6 months.
Good energy.
And then
Yeah, my
master
fingers
is
are
3.
tingling back
Oh,
here.
okay.
That's the master. And with that, that's 6 weeks. But you, in that one, after you finish that,
do
you'll be
hold a
able to
lot in.
teach.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Around your throat, I feel a little choking. So that means you hold a lot in. You don't say everything that you want to say. So see, that's where your chakras start coming in. And there's times I do Reiki and I just cry over people because I feel their emotions so much.
Yeah, and they were looking and keeping track of some of the nodes that I have
There
in
you
my
go.
throat. I have some keep eye on thyroid.
Okay.
So
Does this also detox? Is it part of the detox? Or
Uh,
that's a totally
Detox
different-
is totally
Oh,
separate
oh, okay. We can
on the
talk about
detox,
that
yeah.
When you think
later. But so, and normally,
you have good
if,
intuition.
as you go from the head and you go down, it can go all the way to your feet?
It goes
or-
all the way to your feet.
Oh.
You take the energy from the top of your head and push it out your feet.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
once it's out, it goes into you, and then you have to try to
Right.
shake it out or whatever.
I practice with the feet facing the door.
Oh.
This way, when you get it out, it goes out the door.
Mhm. also part of the Benchak?
Well, that's totally different.
Oh,
But yeah, the
just
room,
wondering.
the massage room or the Reiki room should be set up like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
should be set up that way.
Are there mirrors? Does it matter if there's mirrors, or that isn't?
It
the
doesn't
case?
matter. No.
Uh-huh. Now, Carol likes to use different herbs,
She uses essential oils.
essential oils.
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll use on.
I'm just gonna let you keep
Oh, I love it.
She uses
She's so relaxed.
frankincense and myrrh
Oh, frankincense
on
and myrrh.
cancer.
You just keep talking.
And now, I remember you saying you can't just use any kind of essential oil. It should be
Right.
pure.
Pure.
Right.
The oils we have, you can actually ingest.
Oh, okay.
Like the lemon, that's for detox. You would drink it in water,
Oh, okay.
detox you.
So, I want to know. Do you
I'm
feel...
like, okay, I'm just gonna end the show now so that she can keep, I'll lay down on the table and she can like do more. But no, that was wonderful. I could feel your energy coming in, and I felt the tingle.
Yeah,
Right,
my
when you-
fingers were tingling a lot.
Oh,
so I know
that's
that
nice.
you just know when the energy's starting to flow, and if the
Right.
person is feeling it. There's times I'll go and I'll get nothing, and I'm like, how you feel? All right, I don't know. You
Oh,
will get
that's
those
terrible.
people, but we try to explain to them, and once we tell them what we feel, what we see, they're like, oh wow, really? Sometimes the spirits come in the room too. I
Yeah.
might not know
Lot
who
of
they
time.
are, especially that room.
Oh, that room is loaded.
And I'll
Really?
just say, I
Oh,
felt
yeah.
a presence here, if someone passed away, or, certain things or smells will come up, and at first when I started Reiki, I kept my mouth shut because I wasn't sure of myself. And then I got to realize, and I said things, and most of the time they were true, so.
Yeah, you pick up, and I really do believe if you're open-minded enough, you'll be able to pick up a lot of stuff.
Right.
So we're almost at the end of our show. So
Okay.
if there's anything you want to say that needs to come out, you got 30 seconds.
Okay, so
20.
one thing, you do detox, and what is detox for?
It's a lifestyle change. That's part of our nutrition program.
Oh, okay.
We're both certified in nutrition, and it's a good detox. It's a 10-day,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a pretty good one.
Along with what we do there at the Wellness Center, which we have a lot of different holistic things that go on. We also have a store where we have holistic stuff, and we also have seminars where doctors come and speak and do a lot of different segments there. So.
Oh, great.
And so we're at the end of our show now, but if you want more information, please check us out at cancertamer.org. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.